Hey y'all, I'm Cindy. Welcome to Cindy Hart's Crochet Podcast, where we talk about crochet and crochet accessories. Today is Saturday, July 27th, 2019, and I would like to welcome any new subscribers that may be joining me. Also, welcome back to all of my returning subscribers. Thank you for hanging out with me and coming back for visits with me. I will go ahead and warn you that, or just let you know that this video has potential to be. I can't even talk today. What is up with that? This video has potential to be quite long because I have finally gotten together finished objects, whips, and acquisitions. To be fair, I have only pulled acquisitions from the past couple of weeks and thought I would start fresh with that instead of torturing you through all that other mess that I can't even make heads or tails of. Me and my daughter have been on vacation this week. As most of you know that watch me regularly, she lives in South Georgia, so she comes up for a week vacation twice a year. And we try to squeeze in every possible moment while she's here. This week we have done some yarn shopping. Really? Imagine that. And we have gone to a concert at the Oak Mountain Amphitheater. Thankfully the weather eased up for us and it wasn't near as hot. The humidity was down. The rain stayed away. I think it might have rained earlier that day, which sort of helped it to be cool ish. There's only so cool it can be in July in Alabama. We saw the main acts was Alice in Chains, and then Korn was the headliner. I haven't seen Korn since they were brand new 25 years ago. And then Alice in Chains came out in 1987. And I remember when both of these bands started, so not sure if that makes me old or what, but I may be old, but one of my favorite memes is, at least I saw or used to be bumper stickers, now we have memes. One of my favorites is, I may be old, but I got to see all the good bands. So yeah, it's hard to laugh by yourself here and with nobody laughing back. Anyway, I'm hoping that she and I can make, my daughter and I can make a video for you before she leaves, because she was in my very first video, and I'm coming up on a year that I've been making YouTube videos, and like I say, she was in my first one, so I'm hoping, I'm not going to cry right now. I'm hoping she and I can get a special video made for you because she will not be back in order to do this before my year comes up, my year podversary or whatever we call it, my year video making anniversary. I am sitting in front of my big picture window that I love to sit in front of. The birds are playing, and there's two little birds right here on the hooks that hold my plants and my other bird feeders. They have just been sitting here and looking at me ever since I started my video, so I'm wondering if they're going to critique me like the old Muppet guys men up in the theater. Oh. But anyway, I'm going to jump right in. Hope I don't miss anything. I will probably pause a couple of times during this video because things are just all over the living room and there's so much of it I can't put it just right here. So I will jump right in with finished objects. There are several objects. Now, these objects span over several months, and I know some of you have seen them on my in the Facebook group and on Instagram, but I haven't actually done a podcast, and I know some people are only watch podcasts. So I will try to catch everything. If I find things stuck back in corners somewhere, I will drag them out and bring them to you next time. I do have several items throughout this that will qualify as entries into the July bingo that is held by Mama Llama Kayla. Prayers going out to her for better health. I know she hasn't been very well here lately, and we certainly love you, Kayla, and pray that that your health improves. We know you can't stand not being here with us all the time, so I know you're giving doctors fits over that, I'm sure. Also, Christy with Hooks and Horseshoes. Thank you. I know you are standing in and picking up all that you can for Kayla. And here comes my main man, Goliath, who may or may not need to go outside, in which case I will need to pause this video for that. Maybe he's just coming over to say hello. Come here, sweet boy. Oopers. I'm going to have to get up, but I don't... Okay. I'm not going to have to shift anything. He has a habit of making the bed like a cat, pawing things and pulling things, and a lot of yarn is laying right there. So I thought I was about to have to intervene. All right. Also, I don't know how I will possibly get all of these links below, but somehow I will do it for all of these patterns and or videos that I'm going to mention. I also have a few shout outs. I don't have the list that I would like to have, and the one that I start all the time, I can't ever find it when I start a video. So I will mention a few, and don't get mad at me if I don't mention you, because I am trying to get everybody's numbers up. We're all trying to hit 1,000 so we can stream live from our phones and everything. So I will try to get a better list soon. If I get a phone call or anything stops this video, I will do a part 2. Okay, I think that's all the disclaimers that I had going in. Kind of hoping my daughter will come in while this video is going, because she's gone not just with me. You know, she has to squeeze in all of her time in a few days with her dad and my mama, her Meemaw, Mimi. So we all have to split time a little bit with her. And she's been here since Tuesday, and we'll have to leave tomorrow. So that's another reason I'm a little tender at the moment. Okay, one more time. Finally jumping into these FOs at 8 minutes. If I get them all knocked out this time, maybe I can get them back on my regular schedule with things I'm making or will make. Okay, so first on my list and in my stack is the Giraffe Filet blanket by the Lavender Chair. I need a podium as well. Stay. And everything I have will probably have strings attached to it, because that's how we roll. I think I have shown this along the way, but I have finally finished it. And this is by the Lavender Chair, and it is in the colors Saffron and this is an off-white that didn't necessarily have a label, but it is another reason I need to get my yarn room finished so I can show things standing up without knocking everything over. So this is a cute little giraffe. I actually started this back in January as I sat waiting on my truck to be worked on all day one day, and I finished about a third of it back then, and it just got put back because other things needing to be done, or you know, that's one of those cases of startitis where we've started something we loved and then we find something else we loved better and wanted to start. So that is the Giraffe Filet by Lavender Chair. Two more disclaimers. I have a fan blowing behind me because it is like I mentioned earlier, July in Alabama. And then I have a cricket somewhere. And he doesn't just make a little noise and stop. He hangs out, and he must be working on his legs today, because he just keeps on and on and on, and then we'll stop for a short while. Okay. Too many squirrels running around. Giraffe Filet by the Lavender Chair in saffron and some off-white or ecru. Okay, next project is a Granny Market Bag by Zines and Roger. This is the market bag that I based my 500 giveaway on. And this is the one that I did, and I thought my ball bands were in there. But the pattern is by Rosina with Zines and Roger. And I did mine in, this is re-up in just, I think it's just gold. It may be sunflower or buttercup or something. And then this is Comfy Cotton. I'm sorry, I don't remember the color of it. I want to say it's like Flower Fields or something. And then this is also re-up in bubblegum. I am thinking about redoing the pink, because this re-up, I like the idea of it all being recycled and everything, but I'm not sure it would hold up under weight. Now, I'm not saying that it won't. I haven't tested it yet, because I've been putting these things in a stack for a while, waiting on my podcast. So this is by Zines and Roger. It was a free pattern on her blog, I do believe. And like I said, I gave away 3 sets of patterns. Now, her pattern probably stops about here, but I just used up all or most all of what I had to try to use that up. So you can make it all different colors. I've bought more stuff to make more of those in different combinations and some lighter colors. Okay, and the next one, that was entered in one of the bag cows, and I'm sorry I can't remember which one, but I got on a market bag kick there for a little bit. Entered them in several make-alongs. This one is the Scrap Market Bag by Bob Wilson 123, and there is a tutorial. I really wish I wouldn't look away so far like that. Let me see if I can come up with, and now the hummingbirds. I have a candle sitting here, so I have to kind of be careful with that too. I don't know why I have a candle burning so close to my face, but I do. I think it was just already there. Okay, I'm going to try sitting this here, but I think that's not going to work either. It took me 2 or 3 hours to get all this together, and I still didn't get everything I need. I need a music stand, which I have, so that will be there next time. Scrap Market Bag, Bob Wilson 123. And again, this was in Mandala Valkyrie. I did hold 2 together, but it's still pretty thin, and I wish I had separated the colors a little better so that there would be more variation of the colors. And again, this one is longer than what the tutorial calls for, that Claire did, but I was just using up mandalas. I will link that one below. The next one was a paid pattern by Durab Creations, and this is the DRC Market Bag. Oops, do I actually have all bands in here for this one? Oh, Well, for 2 of them. Because I'll tell you what, this blue, yellow, white, and orange was a huge... Oh, wow. I'm just now seeing that, the way that's striped. And then it kind of goes back up in a chevron. The one that's got the blue in it was a huge ball of cotton that I found at the thrift store. There was no name on it. I cannot find it anywhere. But it is a decent cotton. It feels to be the same consistency or the feel of the peaches and cream that I used for the rest of it. But I have searched and searched and tried to find that colorway, and I cannot find it anywhere. So anyway, the yellow, the solid yellow is Sunshine, and the ombre yellow is Daisy Ombre. I think I put a longer strap on it than it calls for. I'm not sure what just flashed across my screen, but if my video gets cut off, I will do a part 2. I think it said Wi-Fi disconnect, which I don't understand that. But again, this was by Rob Creations. And I love that market bag too. I can't wait to use all these market bags. Like I said, I just kind of piled them up because waiting on to do a video. Okay, my next finished object was this pillow by Happy Berry Crochet. I was doing a I was buying the subscription box, but I think she's not doing any of the mystery subscriptions anymore. Well, it's not a subscription. I think you just had to reserve one. But I think a lot of you have probably seen this one too, because I did a review on the box itself after I finished this project. And this is some of the softest yarn I've ever worked with. It is kind of thick, and the reason this is hanging is because I am going to take a corner back apart, and I was going to put sachets in it. So, but I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to say it's comparable to the crushed velvet, but not really. It's softer than anything I've used here in the States, whether it be the Velux or the Velvet. And like I say, it might compare to the crushed velvet, but it seems to be it's called King Cole Yummy. And this was a pattern I did, like I said, for the crochet mystery box. And there was enough yarn left. I like the back too. And I just put I think I single crocheted it together. Maybe. And then around the edges, and just stuffed a 16-inch pillow insert in there. There was enough yarn left to do a little pineapple that was in the kit patterns, and I may still do that, but again, I was just like, I think I'm gonna give this to my daughter too, because it's so soft and fluffy. There was enough left in the kit to do that, and like I said, I was just piling that up, waiting on a video. I hope I'm not rushing through them too much, but I know that there's a lot to go over. Okay, so next up is the Shark and Mermaid Ice Pop covers that I made. This was the first one of each one that I made, and it's not standing up like it should, but I think it's because it's been piled up in a bunch of other stuff. So you got your little shark tail here. Plus, like I said, it was my first one, so it may not be made perfectly right. Now, I know the teeth aren't, because the teeth are not supposed to be all cattywampus like that. The rest of them that I did, I did something a little different. This is some kind of picot or something, I think. Picot-esque, I should say. But this one didn't work for me. So the next ones I did something different with a... I can't remember what I did. But it was pretty much just a single crochet or a half double or something that just barely stuck up over the red to look like a shark mouth. So that's that. And there's the mermaid tail. And this is a pattern, I believe it is a paid pattern by Charity Fosnaut, owner of Purple Dolphin Crochet and Crafts. There's the shark one. And the I don't have the mermaid one in here, but she did both of them. So there's that. And I have made to date 15 each of these for kids that I just knew that I wanted to send some to. And then I have to make some for somebody else. And I'm not saying because you're watching me talk about crochet and crochet accessories. So these will fall under the bingo also. I think novelty item maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not going to cheat. If they don't actually qualify as these items, I'm not going to enter them. So those are just really made of scraps. I think this is Heather Gray, Red Heart Super Saver, scraps, cotton. The new ones I've made have been cotton, and the ones I'll make this week will be cotton. Because it just kind of helps soak it up. And if you want them through the washer and dryer, which I'm not sure anybody would, but if you do, then the cotton would bounce back. That acrylic, I think, would just get too tight on your ice pop. And, oh, this one's a biggie. I know I've shown it, and it has been in my background before, but I don't think I've technically formally introduced you to my grease hanging. I can't see through this thing. There are strings hanging from it still because I finished it for the Music Cow, hosted by Amber and Creations. Grease is a word, is a word, is a word. And then I took pictures at the theater. So this is not a specific pattern per se as it was. I just found it as a graph. And there was no name or ownership to it. It was just on I just found it like in Google Photos or something, and used it to make this just in a corner to corner. And I love this thing. Grease is one of my favorite all-time movies. Me and one of my girlfriends could probably quote most every word from it, and definitely can sing it. I actually have the album for Grease. The original album that came out when the movie came out. So there's that. I know a lot of you have seen that on the Facebook and sitting behind me. I had it on the chair a couple of times, but I never actually talked about it. But there you go. I think I'm going to make some hangers for it and then run a dowel through it and use it as a wall hanging. Originally, I wanted it for a piano stool cover, but it is a lot larger than my piano stool. But it's not large enough. I went with a mini C2C, which is just half doubles. So it's really not big enough for a throw or anything like that. So anyway, that's that. Next is my little cell phone bags and coin purses. I have been making these I still need to put a button on this, but I just wasn't about to not show it today. The buttons will match this. They will be white with purple in there. Excuse my nails. I took the polish off, but I have not redone them yet. Ugh. Wish I had seen that before now. Okay, so this is one of the little cell phone purses. Or I guess you put whatever you want to in it. But they're originally intended for cell phones. And I came up with this just because I needed something in the yard. Now, this is not my idea, but I don't think I even follow a pattern anymore for that. And then I put the extra long straps on there in case you want to tie it down, in case you want to carry it like this, or just by yourself, or if you want to do it crossbody. This color is something I got from Premier a while back. It's called, oh, and here's the little coin purse. A lot of people say those look like eyeballs, and I didn't mean for them to. But I didn't feel like it would hold the sides down if I just put one in the middle. And then I kind of decreased here so that the flap came over so your coins didn't fall out. It's just tight single crochet. I don't have measurements on it, but anyway, I just needed a little coin purse because every now and then I do have change, and I actually pay with cash. So I just did that on my own. There's no pattern for that one. This one's not the one I'm going to carry, but I did do this little set that I'm going to either give for Christmas presents, or, of course, I've already got a couple of people calling wanting to buy them. This is in some yarn I got from Premier a while back, and I want to say it's called something about Team something, but this one is called Slam Dunk. And it's more Lakers colors than LSU. For any of my SEC fans that might want some of it. It is not SEC purple. I mean, it's not LSU purple and gold. It is LSU. I mean, Lakers, LA Lakers colors. So I just need to put the buttons on that one, on that little cell phone, and then I'll sell those as a set or separate, either one. But I am making some for Christmas presents as well, which I think puts it also in the bingo. And then this is the one I made for myself, and this is some cotton. I love this cotton from Hobby Lobby. This one is a bit larger than the other one, but I wrapped it up, so I can't take that out. I made me a little wristlet, I think is what you call those. I just did a chain. Just enough to go around my wrist and hold on without it being too floppy. This one's a little larger than the other one. I don't know why. But just put some buttons on there. A white button with a little clear button. I don't remember this color, but I did do a little cell phone purse out of this one a while back. That one is for me. Okay, so next, oh my gosh, I forgot who did this. I did it as a make along, or crochet along. This is the Desert Sunset Shawl that I have absolutely no information on. But this is 2 cakes of this mandala that I would have remembered had I not needed to remember. But it's real pretty, kind of a lacy light shawl. I did 2 cakes so that it would wrap around me, and so I could tie it if I wanted to, so it would actually, wrap around me. And like I say, I could wear it the other way if I wanted to, how other people do, but not in 100-degree July days in August. July days in August? No. In Alabama. I absolutely cannot remember this colorway in the mandala, but it is one of my favorites because these are my colors. I also cannot remember the person that did the cow. I will link it below, though, I promise. And I'm sorry that I didn't have that one bit of information out of everything. I did this as a make-along back whenever that happened, a couple of months ago. Desert Sunset Shawl. Goodness. Okay, and my next thing is that I did these little coasters, and it's a video tutorial from Bag a Day, and it's just simple flower or easy flower coasters. And me and my daughter love some sunflowers and buttercups, and we had someone special in our lives one time that actually called us that. I am Buttercup, and she is Sunflower. But this is cotton, just peaches and cream. And this is what's left of that daisy ombre. If you could tell around the edges. It's the daisy ombre. And this is the worst, excuse me. You know how you see something out of your eye, but then it's not really there? This yellow is some of the absolute worst yellow peaches and cream I've ever worked with. The reason these are two different colors of yellow is because this peaches and cream felt like working with wax. It was terrible. So I went ahead and did the other two and the rest of that daisy ombre, because I just couldn't do any more with that wax. And that's brown. All of this is peaches and cream. And like I say, it is called simply like Easy Flower Coasters or something like that. And I will link that below. That is a tutorial by Crystal at Bag a Day. And that's a set of 4. And they are cotton. I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3. No, that's the correct rounds. I have done a couple that had more rounds than that. But this was actually her pattern. So, and those are cute and worked up pretty quickly. Cute for Christmas presents, I believe. Or, I don't know. Just to give people. And my next project is a hot pad or dish towel. And this one was a Yarnspirations pattern and video tutorial by Jonah. By Jonah's Hands. You know, the little young guy that does all the crochet? And it is pretty. It's got a little ridge to it. And again, I think it was just simply called Flower Hot Pad Dish Towel Tutorial. I will link it below though. But it did do some drop down front post. And there's my string. And it had a hanging thing. It is a little larger than, I don't know. It'd be a good dish towel. And then these ridges would be good for scrubbing. And this is Pink Lemonade by Pink Lemonade Cotton. I think it's Peaches and Cream. I will link that below. Was a video tutorial. Okay, gotta pause. No, I'll go back to that. And then my daughter was talking about needing a plastic bag holder. So I just made this like in an hour last night, or maybe 2. And it is a video tutorial by Jada in Stitches. And it's just plastic bag holder. My loop is twisted. I somehow got that twisted. But you know what? My daughter don't care. She loves it. She said that will clear out about half of one of her under cabinets. And I don't know. This was just a yarn ball I had in a bowl back there. And I know it is, I love this yarn, maybe like glowing, I think. Or Yarn Bee glowing. Because it's really slick. Like Karen Simply Soft, pretty much. But this is a shell. She called this a specific kind of shell, like a split shell. I will link that video below. Next is the cutest darn things I've ever made, I think. Close to cutest. These are, and I know several people have seen them. Other people make them, and then on the Facebook page and Instagram. These are PB&J Friends, or Peanut Butter and Jelly Friends, I'm not sure. By Stringy Ding Ding. And it was a free pattern. I think his little face just blended in too much, so this is actually purple. It was grape jelly and peanut butter. I think if I do another one, I was going to do like a strawberry jelly or something, and so his little face would show up better. I didn't use safety eyes, which I never do. I just stitched them on. And that's wheat bread. That's just some kind of, like, I think it's opal fleck or something. But I called it wheat or rye or pumpernickel or something because it's got those things in it. And I have to give it to anybody that makes these things, because all these tiny little parts that have to be sewn together is not for me. And look, you put them together and they make a sandwich. Oh, good stuff. Peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time. Okay then. That is a free pattern by Stringy Ding Ding. I can't remember who all I saw make them. I think Karen with Happiness is Homemade was the first one that I saw that made it, that made me go look for the pattern. Those are cute. And then Flux is doing a 2019 Summer of Dishcloths. And so I'm following that along. This is the first week. This was the first week dishcloths. And it's just a granny with scrubby around the edges. And this is some more of that re-up bubble gum. This is some of that nasty, waxy yellow peaches and cream. Oh, no, that's not bubble gum. I think this is bubble gum, right? Scrubby, Red Heart Scrubby. And then I think this is Ducky. This is, I think it's called bubblegum. I think that's called bubblegum too. But that's the re-up in the pink fuchsia. It may be hot pink, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's some of that waxy. See how it waves? That's not a soft wave either. It's like a, I mean, it doesn't. Anyway, so this was week 1 of Flux 2019 Summer of Dish Towels. Granny square with scrubby edges. I did 2 of those. Week 2 was the C2C 2 colored ones, and I actually have given those away. I did them with a variegated yarn on the first half and then a solid on the second half, and they did not look the same. It looked like the solid was bigger and therefore it kind of poofed out. But anyway, pictures to that are on the Facebook page if you would like to check that out. That was week 2. I'm trying to put the links on the Facebook page every time the new one comes out. This was week 3, called Playing in the Garden. And it's actually supposed to have scrubby held together with this green. This is some more of the re-up green. And it's just kind of thinnish. And then it's got the little flowers that I guess would be good for scrubbing stuff also, or helping to rub things off. I did not have scrubby and green, so I just did mine like this, and it's real cute. But I have also found, as it was sitting on my desk at work when I was taking pictures of it, that it's good for your coffee mug. And I think too, like some of the real pretty African violet containers, a lot of those are like the glass containers with pretty paintings on it. I think this would be pretty under a plant also, or as a dishcloth like she intended. Okay, I'm going to go get this last finished object for a moment, so I'm going to pause. Be right back. If it would just pause. Okay, this one is just so big that I had it in a big bag, a big cellophane bag. But this is, I think you saw it as I started it. This is a floor poof, and the pattern is a hobium pattern, and I think it was just called something floor poof, duh. And it was on the Hobium yarn blog, and it is a free pattern. This is impeccable yarn, and I have just gotten my earring stuck in that dang thing. What the? You couldn't have done that if you had tried. Okay. I hope I don't lose that earring. Well, anyway. Alrighty then. Only here, right? This is impeccable. No, it's not. It is loops and threads. And I really don't remember the color. But I've left it loose also because I forgot to put and I just kind of Frankenstein that back there. It will look better when I get finished. But again, it's from a daughter and she doesn't care. Because her mama made it, yeah. And I made this in 2 pieces. I made it up to here, and then I made it here down, and then just sewed those 2 together. Like I said, I left this apart because I do want to make some sachets and put in there just to kind of a lavender or something that she might like. But this thing's pretty large. Now I've started myself one that I have to finish. I had to actually put like foam for the top and the bottom, and then I put foam and then polyfill in the middle because it was just so much polyfill to fill that thing up. And I may still stuff it a little bit more, but like I say, I'm going to take it apart here and put some smell goody stuff in there for her. And she can use it as a floor poof. Her library is purple, so she could either use it as a floor poof in there, or she could, mine is only about to here, and I'll use it as a backrest. So, that is what I do believe the end of finished objects. Now, I take that back. I have other finished objects. But they are entered in Ella's Christmas in July Mal. So the first week of her Mal if you entered the ornaments into there, you would get extra entries. If you do her specific week, during that week, you get extra entries. So that's what I'm trying to do. So the first week was ornaments. So I made, I don't know what that is. I made these little bell ornaments. And they've been squished because they're just laying in there on top of each other. I did this one. This is just a pink metallic scraps. It is, I love this yarn though. It came from Hobby Lobby. And I did actually put jingle bells in them. And then I did this one. That one's cotton. Put jingle bells in it. But, and this is cotton, just Christmas mix, I think. I'm not sure. And the pattern, when you make it, it is stiff enough that you don't really have to stiffen it if you don't want to. And I don't know that I really care much for stuff after you've put that glue in it and then it sits all year in a hot attic or everything, because then it's like squished and you can't really get it back right. This one's a little bit longer. I think I put an extra round on this one. But this bell, this does actually lay out like that if you don't stack it under 400 pounds of other stuff. Put jingle bells in that. So that's the ornaments I made. That will also hit the bingo square as well. And then I think the next week was a stocking. That pattern was by a tutorial by Bob Wilson 123. I will link that one. The second week was for a stocking. So I did a granny square stocking. Just put stuff in. And just did 8 granny squares and put an edge on it. I think I put a double edge on it because I put it together and then there was something wonky about here. So I did a second edge or something about the top. I don't really remember. But this was a tutorial by Jada in Stitches, a video, YouTube video. And I don't think that I followed her exactly, but I will link that video tutorial below for that. That also hits on the bingo square. And then this was the pretty one. Last week, or the third week, was a wreath, make a wreath. So I made this. My strings are hanging. I had something I was going to do with those, but they didn't get done, so the strings are hanging. I covered them up for my picture. It is finished. The stupid strings won't. Oh, where's my sunlight going? But this is